Hello, everybody, and welcome to Write Something Weird, your favorite literary show where we talk about creating cool art and writing books and building bookish communities. I'm Sophie Stern, a paranormal romance author. I'm here today with my wonderful friend and guest, Miranda Lynn. Hi, Miranda.
Hi.
So, Miranda writes a lot of really cool, wonderful, interesting stories. Miranda, can you tell us a little bit about your books?
Well, I write a variety of mashups, is how I say it. So
Okay.
I write paranormal. And in those worlds, my packs are made up of different species that have had to learn to live together. I have witches and vampires and anything I can throw into it. I have a time travel fantasy trilogy, and that handles current day and 17th century Scotland. There's some fae issues in there. It's probably been one of my most popular books since it came out over. That's the first thing I wrote.
Wow.
Um, I do have some paranormal MC. And
Okay.
again, in all my paranormal worlds, there's different species. So the first book actually focuses on a female cougar shifter who is the
Oh,
president of an MC
okay.
club.
Okay.
And Karma is her road name, and Karma's a bitch.
Okay.
So, and then I have a very fun co-write that I write with AJ Renee. It's
Yes.
a good, fun cleanse between books. The series is called You've Been Gnomed. And in
Okay.
each book, you will find 1 to 3 gnome statues that pop up in compromising positions or clothing, and nobody knows where they came from. So
Okay.
that's kind of, and then the most recent, I've mashed up paranormal and Greek mythology
Okay.
and in Little Stars. So I take the story of the Little Dipper and I bring it to life in a paranormal world. So we have gods and goddesses, and we have shifters, we have witches. I throw a djinn in there. There's some centaurs, there's shadow demons. If I could throw it at you, I did. So that's me in a nutshell.
No, I love it. That was a great explanation and a perfect segue because I wanted to ask you about your new book, Writing with the Bear. Is that your latest release?
It is. It is the second in my paranormal MC.
Okay.
And he is one of the enforcers that is sent on a mission to find a long lost daughter of somebody.
Okay.
And you do find out that she was abandoned
Okay.
and has no idea that she has any type of magic in her. But her nickname, she works on a ranch, and her nickname is Snow.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
she has a way with animals.
Okay. Okay.
Only to find out when he does find her, she's his mate. So
Love.
the whole plan and the whole process of this mission changes because now he's invested in this woman.
Yeah.
And as it progresses, of course, they're chased by other rival gangs and come
Yeah.
to find out the mother's not actually her mother and wants her
Okay.
dead. And so it's an action-packed story. And it brings a woman, it's basically like, what would happen if I found out I was a shifter?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
What
exactly.
the what the hell would I do?
No, it's a great
So yeah,
question.
and so I actually had a reader come up with a tagline. I haven't done it on anything yet, but she's like, why choose between the man and the bear in the woods when you can have both?
Okay. Okay. Interesting. And you've done that. You've done that with your book.
I did.
So what was the most interesting thing about writing this story?
Well, just the fact that I threw in everything. You know, I have all kinds of shifters. I have a honey badger shifter that drives a 19, what is it, Ryan? 68 Impala. Think
Okay.
Sam and Dean
Yeah,
and
yeah. Oh, I
Supernatural.
did right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a great group of shifters that have come together. I have a Chinese dragon that comes in and decides to take out some people. We have a house that blows up, which really is shitty because it also blows up a couple of the bikes.
Oh,
And
that one hurt.
yeah, bikers and their bikes. That's
Yeah.
you don't mess with that. So
No.
it was fun. And, I just, the beginning of it, so I wrote it, actually started the series at TNT.
Okay.
And their anthologies, they have people co-write. So we have crossover scenes. And
Okay.
then Jenny encourages us to finish the story into a full novel.
Interesting.
So that's where the first book, Writing with a Cougar, started. And this last year, I co wrote with Cassie Colton and had an amazing time. So that's why we're on a ranch. She wrote the rancher side, I wrote the motorcycle side,
Okay.
and she had a lot of fun learning how to work with shifters because she's never done paranormal. And I've not done
Oh, wow.
contemporary a whole lot. So
Yeah.
that was a blast. So that's kind of where it started. And we bounced ideas off of each other. She actually helped me kind of round out how the rest of my story would go. And so that's the second book. Um, I actually have a novella that the first 10,000 words or so are going to be in another anthology this year.
Okay.
And I have taken on the challenge of a penguin shifter.
Miranda, what? What's the shifter's name? A penguin. Ooh.
So his road name is Teardrop.
Okay.
His real name is Jamie. And he
Okay.
actually is based on one of the bikers that comes down with Capo to TNT. I have been given permission to use his name, and his road name.
Okay.
And I'm very excited to kind of finish that out because I want to present that to him next year at TNT.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, that's so special. That's really cool. So
Thanks.
what I love talking to you because I can tell, I love writing paranormal too, and it's really fun to talk to someone who's so passionate about it, like your eyes lit up,
Yeah.
and you know a lot about shifters and you know a lot about crafting these interesting worlds. One of
Mhm,
the things that I like about your stories is you're not afraid to push yourself as a writer and you're not
mhm.
afraid to get creative. So, what advice would you give to writers who are kind of struggling to push themselves in that way?
The thing is, go for it.
Yeah,
If you come up with an idea, write it. If it makes it to a story, it makes it to a story. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you're not going to get better if you don't get that out. So the whole
yeah,
idea of the penguin shifter started with a conversation. One of my readers and I were outside at the hotel. She's smoking, I'm vaping, and you know, Jamie's there. And so we get to talking. He's super nice. He's super sweet. And I'm sorry, there's wildlife in front of me.
Oh,
We
is it
have
a
a
penguin?
groundhog in the yard. No, we have a groundhog in the yard. That's the first time I've seen it. Anyway, so I'm talking to him. I'm like, okay, what's your favorite animal? And he's like, well, I
Yeah,
love dogs. And I said, okay, let me rephrase that. When you go to the zoo, what is the first exhibit you go to? And he said, penguins. And I'm like, well, that's a challenge.
yeah,
So I started doing research because everybody hears penguins, they mate for life. There's only two species that actually do that.
mm,
And the difficulty with this is in a normal paranormal, you've got fangs, you've got claws, you've got some way to mark each other, some way to do
yeah,
that. Well, penguins are a flightless bird that can't do that. And so I had to come up with a way that they could mark each other as far as mating. So that was
yeah,
fun, and then giving them like some type of superpower because they're not going to be super strong because they're small.
yeah.
Um, so I had to come up with other ways. So what do penguins do? What could I enhance? And I kind of
Yeah.
went with that. So for writers that are like, I'm not sure, and just write it down. My first trilogy is a mashup. I was watching and reading Outlander and watching True Blood at the same time.
Yeah.
And I had an author who I used to do book reviews. I had a book review blog. And that's where I learned about the indie world because I had an indie author reach out to me and say, hey, would you be willing to read my book for a review?
Yeah.
And that kind of spiraled into me getting in the background of indie authors and supporting them. And one of them said, write the story you want to read. I wanted to freaking mashup of Outlander
Yeah.
and True Blood without the history, not quite as much gore. And that's where the Destiny trilogy started. And it kind of went its own way, you know. It is a time travel. It goes from current day to 17th century and then back. And as I wrote, my husband was actually working about an hour and a half away. So he would stay up there during the week, supposedly with a friend, but he was living in his office. And
Okay.
so I would send him chapters as I got them done. And he
Mhm.
read faster than I could write. He'd always be like,
Wow.
okay, where's the next chapter? This is pissing
Yeah.
me off. I need to know what happens next. I'm like, I don't even know what's going to happen next. So you have to get out of your head and get away
Yeah.
from the fear and just write.
Yeah.
Verbal vomit, that's what it is. You can fix that. You can't fix words that aren't on a page.
I totally agree. No, I think that's great advice. And I feel like a lot of writers, especially when they're first starting, really do get stuck in their head like, is this going to be good? Will someone make fun of me? Who cares? People might, but most people are going to enjoy what you're writing and really respect the fact that you pushed yourself, you did something cool and interesting. I
Hmm.
think it's really important. So that is absolutely great advice. And I also really like that you discovered the indie world by an author who reached out to you.
Hmm.
Can you talk a little bit more about like the connections you made through your blog? Like, did you find a writing community that way?
So like I said, it had to have been like 2010, 2011-ish when things really
Okay.
were kind of starting to go.
Yeah.
I had found paranormal romance at my library. So I
Okay.
found Patricia Briggs, I found J.R. Ward, who I actually finally got to meet in person this year. And I cried behind the scenes. I didn't cry in front of her. Um, and I also found like Janet Ivanovich, and her series. So I created a blog sharing my reviews. And so I got an email, and I can't even tell you the author that emailed me. I mean, I can't tell you the book that I read, but she was like, I really enjoy reading your blog and your reviews. I'm an indie
Yeah.
author. I would love to send you my book in exchange for a review. So she sent me, a quick little blurb, and I'm like, sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and so that led to another, and I started joining. That's when the blog tours were really
Oh
popular.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
joined three different companies, and I would just I could pick, what was
Yeah.
interesting. And then I'm blanking on the name. She owns the Redhead Media Company. If you look her up,
Okay.
she's still running that. She and another author had started out doing support for the indie community. So we helped them um, get onto blog tours. We helped manage their communication with their own blogs or whatever.
Okay.
I actually searched back through my email the other day and found some where I'm like, okay, I have this, and this scheduled. This is what's on the plan for this week. And
Nice.
here we go with this. But I'll be honest, when I decided to start writing, I kind of shut away from the whole community
Okay.
because of the fear of being judged.
Mm.
Because I was writing something that wasn't linear.
Yeah.
At that time, historical fiction, it was historical fiction, and contemporary romance there was nothing that crossed the lines and the borders. And that's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I still am in contact with her through Facebook and stuff, but we don't really chat anymore. Um, I'm super proud of where she's come from. She's very strong on women and
Yeah.
individuality and supporting the indie community. But that's where I learned.
Yeah.
And then in 2011, I did NaNoWriMo with the first Destiny, and then I sat on it for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kept picking at it, and I sat on it, and it wasn't until a local author back in Portland found me at the library, and he's like, here's my editor, send it to her. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I did. And then I still sat on, he's like, quit, get a cover. Here's a couple of cover artists. You can find that I did a pre made. And I look back at it now, and it was the worst cover for the book, but That's what was popular as far as historical romance.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And there's trends. There's so many trends
Oh,
with
yes,
covers.
so many. So I published in 2014. That was the first
That's
book.
amazing. I love
Yeah.
that. So you and I met at a book event.
Mhm.
When did you start going to book events? Was it right around that same time or was it later?
Um, I'm going to say it was right around the same time, 2015, maybe. I lived outside
Okay.
of Nashville and I had one book. I had the first book, it was the original cover. And I just found a couple of, yeah, bad redhead media. Will you quit? My husband's out here. And he's like talking to me and like distracting me.
Look, he's your
And he's
biggest
like,
fan.
he
He
is my
probably
biggest
knows all
fan.
the answers too.
Rachel Thompson, that's her name. Rachel Thompson,
Okay.
bad redhead media. Anyway, um, and I don't know, I lost my track of thought. But no,
That's okay.
I've been doing events for over 10 years. Um,
Okay.
I started out in Nashville, and that's where I met Angie Stanton Johnson, and she invited me to the first Writers on the River,
Okay.
which I was like, yes, because it was an hour and a half from where I grew up.
Oh,
So it was
amazing.
an easy go home. And so I've been with them since the start. And yeah, so I've gone through ups and downs, and I've got lots of advice. If anybody wants it, they can reach out if you're starting or if you're, especially in the world now, like what can I
Yeah.
trust and what can I not? Or how do I set up to make it, make me look good? Or, how do I talk to people? You talk to people, you ask what they like to read.
Yeah.
You make eye contact. If they see something at your table, then hey, what caught your eye? That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I try to share the experience that I have, um, but I don't think I know it all. There is are so
I
many
think you
out
know it
there.
all. I think
Ah, I love you.
Well,
I
no,
love you.
I love that so much because I feel like when I first started doing events, like there's such a the barrier to entry is knowledge. Like if you know
Yeah,
what to expect, it's so much easier.
it is.
And you're totally right. You don't have to show up and do like a hard sell, and you shouldn't. What
No.
really matters is the connection you make with readers. So I
Yeah,
love asking people like, what kind of shapeshifters do you like to read about? Like,
that's really good.
yeah, what's the last book you read? And
Hmm.
I've had people come up and ask me, so we've both gone to Writers on the River. Have you had the person who asks about elephant shifters come to your table?
Yes. I haven't done it yet, but it's in the book of figure out how to make that work.
Yes. Okay. So one year, this reader went table to table and asked every single author to write her an elephant shifter book. And I don't think any of us have done it, but it is on everyone's mind now. And she will be getting a free copy when any of us finally does it.
Exactly. Exactly. So I haven't quite done elephant. I've done rhinoceros,
Oh,
silverback gorilla.
yeah.
And these are all in the motorcycle club series.
Yeah.
That's where I started really going kind of hog wild
Yeah.
on shifters. I have a saber-tooth tiger. I brought them back.
Yeah.
I don't have a dinosaur yet. That's a little far, but
On the
I don't
list,
know. There
though.
may be a short story somewhere with a dinosaur. Like I can't not have a T-Rex with its little bitty arms and figure out how to make that work.
Yeah. That one's a little tricky.
It is.
Yeah.
But I like to those are the things like when I'm having issues, I'll stop and go, what's the most outrageous thing that I could turn into
Mhm.
a shifter and how do I get that background? So I create a character. I may never
Yeah.
use them, but it helps get my brain away from the shit, what do I do now? Or
Yeah.
this is for me, it's the okay, I'm at the point in the book, this is absolute shit. I need to stop.
Yeah.
Um,
We
and
all
then
get
I'm
there.
I'm yeah. It happens. It happens with every single book.
Yeah.
Um, but that's when I create a different character. I'm going to read a book.
Yeah.
I stop and I may, message an author friend and say, "Hey, I just need to bounce something off of you, even if it's crap, to get it out of my head." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the common trends I've noticed just from our discussion this evening, it sounds like you are always asking questions. What
Yes.
should I do next? What can I do to make this character interesting? How can I bring it to life? And I think that's the mark of a good author is to always have that curiosity.
Aw, I never thought of it that way. It's just
Yeah.
how my brain's always worked.
Yeah. well and amazingly. Um, Miranda, this has been so great. Before we say goodbye, where can
Yes.
people find your books?
Amazon is the best place to go, or you can, check out my website, which is simply Miranda Lynn with two N's.com. Um, so yeah, I mean, just Google me.
Okay.
Two N's, please, not one.
Two ends, and I will be sure to include a link when I post the video. Miranda, this has been awesome, and I can't wait to see you again in just a couple of weeks.
I know. I can't wait.
Yay! Have a great
Okay.
night.
Thank you. Good night.